Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to do 3 looks using the newest Ensley Reign revamped version of the Flower Moon palette. I'm so excited for you guys to see what 3 looks I create. Obviously, this is the 3rd look that I created using this palette. I wore this palette like towards the entire week, and I've loved each and every look that I created. If you are ready to see all the swatches, the description, the 3 looks using this palette, then please keep on watching. Okay, let me show you the revamped version of the Flower Moon palette. Obviously, when you're buying this palette, it comes in like a beautiful box, which is exactly designed like this. And the pans right now are magnetic this time. So you can mix and match. You know how much I love customizing my eyeshadows, and also comes with a mirror. This is like a beautiful addition to what they did. Obviously, if you do have the older Flower Moon palette, do you need it? I don't think so. But if you do not have that and if you're eyeing this revamped version of it, I'm pretty sure they have like revamped their formula, stuff like that too, because I absolutely love Ensley Reign Cosmetics. That's not a news to anybody here watching my channel. So let's begin with the swatches. The sun is hitting, so I have to quickly wrap up the video and then go to office too. So let's quickly start off with that. Bloom, Pink Moon, Freesia, Flower Moon. Bloom is such a beautiful, like a orangey shade with golden and yellow sparkles to it. This shade, which is Pink Moon, it's stunning, you guys. There are so many specs to it. Like I see green, I'm pretty sure you see pink. It's such a beautiful and a dimensional shade. It's really pretty. I love that. The 3rd shade is called Freesia. If you like a good pinky neutrally look, you would absolutely love it. I don't know if it shifts or not, but it has so much of specks and sparkle to it. And Flower Moon might be like my favorite shade in the palette, along with a Pink Moon. Again, because of the shiftiness. Look at that. And it's so elegant on the eyes, you guys. Pink Moon is more like pinky goldeny green, and this one is more like purple pink green. It's such a beautiful shade. I don't even know if you can see this in action or not, but I'll show you all the swatches on the screen so that you can see it in the outside lighting too, how it performs. Then we have Persephone, Dahlia, and April Showers. Persephone is more over like a, you know, that pinky shade with like blue specks to it. We've all seen the shades running throughout indie brands. And then we have Dahlia, which is more like a magenta purpley pink shade. And then we have April Showers, which I have to use it yet, but oh my god, this looks magical. It's like blue purple shifting shade, like a duochrome shade. Let me show it to you. Look at that. The last 3 shades are more like blue leaning, I would say. Like pink to purple is more like fuchsia pink with blue specks in it. And this is more like blue with purple shift to it. So that's the top row swatched for you guys. Let's move on to the next row. We have a Refresh, which is like a very neutrally goldeny shade with green shift to it. Then we have Primrose. This is a green heavy leaning palette. This is more like a traditional shimmer shade. It's like a green gold. And then we have Bliss, which is, it's more textured. It's more reflective. Let me show you. These are all going to be green, okay? Refresh, which is more golden. Then we have Primrose, which is like a traditional shimmer shade, greeny gold shade. And then we have Bliss, which is more green. It looks very similar in camera actually. And Bliss, which is more like a gray green, but so much more textural. Can you see that? If you are a green wearer, you would absolutely love it. Like I'm not a self-proclaimed green lover, but I still love this palette. Next is Forsythia. This is the shade that I have on my eyes. Actually, this is like an olivey, yummy gold shade. Then we have Awakening, which is like with a pink base. It's like a cool tone green shade, like a duochrome. And then we have Sapling. Sapling is a emollient shade in this palette. It does move around quite a bit. It's like a pinky, orangey, bluey shade. And then we have Sprout, which I love this shade. It's a neutrally pinky brown shade. So let's do that. Forsythia, Awakening, Sapling, and Sprout. Oh my God, so stunning. Look at that. There you go. Those are the next 4 shades of the second row. Now let's move on to the third row. Third row is all mattes. So let's do that quickly before the sun hits our face. Lush, Rejuvenate, Peony, Mayflowers. Like one swipe swatches and you can see it. Then we have the greens, Meadow, Budding, and Renew, which is a deeper brown shade. Yummy, yumminess. Just beautiful. And those are the mattes of the palette. So that is the entire palette swatched for you guys. It's so dimensional, you guys, so pretty on the eyes. The blend is like a dream, but that you'll see in just a second. Let's start off with the 3 looks using this palette, okay? Ignore the sun. Okay, time to play with the Flower Moon palette. I'm so excited for the first look, and I'm wearing purple, so definitely aiming for a purple look, okay? Okay, let's begin. I'm gonna first start off with the shade Mayflowers and then go into Renew. So Mayflowers and then Renew. Mayflowers is definitely more like a pinky mauvey shade. It's a little bit more on the darker side today. It's early in the morning. I'm getting ready for office. So you'll be able to see how wild I go with the office looks, okay? I generally tend to mellow down because I hardly see people wearing makeup in office. But that doesn't stop me. But I'll try. I'll try my best to make it more wearable and not go overboard. So I'm gonna just take Mayflowers all across the eyelid, as in like on the crease, and also gonna focus the same shade on my lower lash line. Just blending it out so that everything is cohesive. These are gonna be quick looks, okay? Going into Renew now. That deeper burgundy brown shade. Focus that right there in the outer corners. First, I'm looking for depth. So just stamping the product right in. Taking the same shade on the extreme outer corners of the lower lash line. Right there. Doing the same thing on the other eye. Now I'm just going to take this and this together. So Mayflowers and a little bit of Renew. And just focus that on the blending using that shade. Just so that there's easily a mid-tone shade for purpley tones. Also going to take the same thing on the entirety of the lower lash line. Just like that. Taking the same blending brush. Just blending everything out together. So that's basically what I'm going to do for the mattes. Now on to the shimmers. What are we doing? My eyes are going to Flower Moon. I don't know how I cannot use that. I'm going to start off with the shade Dahlia and then go into Flower Moon. So these 2 shades, okay? So let's start with Dahlia. It's more like a pinky purple. Focusing that on the outer corners and melting it with that deeper shades. I don't know how much you can see it, especially because of this lighting. Oh man, I was thinking like, kids are off to school. My husband has actually gone out for work to Seattle. So it's only me, and I was like, this is the perfect time to record. It's been like, it'll be quiet, but light is a big factor. I don't use artificial lighting, if you guys don't know me. It's mainly a big window in front of me, and I have a small window on the side, and I have one artificial light throwing light on the background. So that's basically what it is. So nothing is like falling on me. So that's where it is. I'm taking the same brush with that deeper shade and just damping the edges. Now dipping into Flower Moon shade. This is such a beautiful shade. Okay, ready? Look at that. It's so pretty. I love that shade. There's so many reflex of shades going there. It's purple, gold, pink. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. It's just gorgeous. You can do so much with this palette. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a little bit of Pink Moon, or should I take yeah, let's take this one. This shade, what is this? Persephone, okay, this one on the inner corners. I was like, if I can find an inner corner brush, I found one. Just taking a little bit right there. It is more like a purple to a blue flip. Definitely see that reflect coming through. Okay, right there. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And this is my first eye look. I really love the way how this eye turned out. Obviously, there are so many aspects. Obviously, this is a purple look, so I absolutely love it. But the dimension that you can get with these shadows are so pretty, and the mattes, they blend so beautifully. I'm so excited. Let's move on to the second eye look. Second day, second look. Let's move. I'm gonna start off with this shade and then deepen it out with Renew shade. Actually, let's go other way. Let's start off with Renew shade on the outer corners and then move with this shade on the crease. So let's do that. I'm wearing like a pretty colorful dress, I would say, with a bunch of flowers on it, so I can go any direction. I'm also gonna take that same shade on the extreme outer corners or the lower lash line. Taking that Rejuvenate shade, which is that orangey shade in the palette. I'm gonna place that in the crease, mixing it with that deeper brown shade. I'm sorry, the sun is going in and out and it's early in the morning. Cannot control the sun, but hopefully you can see everything. I was just delaying it a little bit so that it's not dark, but now we are compromising on the sun. So once we have that Rejuvenate shade all across the eyelid, I'm also going to take that little Peony shade, which is that, it's like a corally pink shade, and just melt it with the Rejuvenate shade, just so that we have a hint of pink coming through. It's more like in coral, I would say. And then going back into that Renew shade to just deepen it out and melting it with the other shades. I'm taking the shade Rejuvenate and Peony together for the lower lash line too. And that's all that we'll have for the mattes in the palette. Let's concentrate on the shimmers now. I want to start off with this Proud shade, which we've not done before, right? It's a very neutrally pinky brown shade, but it has so much of like specks and sparkle through it. It's not duochrome or multichrome, but it's very elegant shimmer. I really like that. I totally can go with just this shade all across the eyelid and call it a day, because it's very pretty. I want to see how this shade is different from this Sprout shade. So let's take Freesia. I don't know how different it's gonna be. Okay, it's more coppery. It's more coppery pink. The other one was more like a brownie with a brownie base, but goes very nicely together. And this Freesia shade definitely has more sparkle running throughout it. So that worked out perfectly. Okay, let me give the final touches. For the inner corner, I'm going to take this Bloom shade. That bloom all over the eyelid would also be stunning. This has more of like that orangey goldeny tone to it. It's so stunning. Here you go. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right. Now you're getting less of the sun. Just move the camera a little bit. But this is how my second look turned out. I love how sparkly and dimensional, but every day it can look. This is totally up my alley. I would wear it every day to office. I really, really love it. Now tomorrow, I'll come back with the third look. Okay, let's begin with the third and the final look. Obviously, I want to play with some greens because that's the only thing that's missing that I have not played with. I mean, I've played with in like a get ready with me, but not in this way. So let's play with greens. I am planning to use both these greens, maybe deepen it out with this shade. Let's first start with the budding shade. It's a beautiful, like a grungy green shade. It's really, really pretty. And how about we do a halo eye? That just plopped up in my mind. Feel like that'll be really pretty. I am going to office, so this is the third day of the week. Here you go. That's a beautiful shade. I really, really love that. Like these greens, I can be up for it. This palette has a lot of variety. You will see almost like 3 monochromatic looks, but I have mixed and matched this palette too. I'll link that video in the eye cards above for you guys. It goes so well together, like the purples, the oranges, the greens, the pinks, all of them really, really go together. And that's the beauty about these palettes, that you don't have to think that if anything will go together or not, it will go together. Let's go into this shade, Renew. And I'm gonna take that in the lower lash line. And I am gonna tie that Renew shade in the extreme outer and the inner corner of this eye too. But let's first start like blending the shades. I'm gonna take this Meadow shade, which is the army green kind of a shade. And I'm gonna take that, blending that deeper green. Look how stunning that green is. I love that. And just like big circular motion, nothing precise. I just want that blend to be seamless. That's beautiful. I'm actually debating, should I even dip into that brown or not? Maybe, but we'll see. Let's see. I'm going to take a smaller brush with that Renew shade and go into the extreme outer corners and extreme inner corners with this eye, just to tie in that brown. And it's going to be a little bit back and forth of these deep 2 shades, just to deepen it out. With nothing on the brush that we use that crease shade with, I'm just gonna melt it together just so that there's no stark line or gap in between, but keeping it very light towards the center of the eye, just like that. Okay, I know I want to dip into this shade, Forsythia, maybe Refresh too. Let's see. First let's take Forsythia, and this is more of that olivey green shade. Just taking it all across the eyelid. That's such a stunning shade. By the time I'm filming this, the 3 looks with the Strawberry Moon palette would be already up on the channel. I'll link that also in the eye cards above for you guys. It's so pretty. All of these palettes are so pretty. Just meshing the edges of that shimmer with the mattes. I basically just tap on the edges and just takes care of itself. And then I'll take that bigger blending brush and just go there so that again the blend is smooth. Okay, now let's take that Refresh shade, which is more of that brighter yellowy green shade, and just plop right there on the center. Can you see the difference? I can see the difference. I don't know if you can see it or not. I definitely can see. Let's take this Bloom shade again for the inner corners. I wanna take that all across the eyelid in one of the eye looks. I'm pretty sure it'll come super, super soon. Look how bright that shade is. Love it. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my third and the final look. Although this is a green look, but I love it so very much. I love the dimension, the specs, the sparkle that you can get with this palette is totally unreal. I really, really love it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed all the 3 looks that I created using this palette. But if you want to see it like mix and match, I'll link that video in the iCards above. Do check it out. I feel like you'll absolutely love it. I did like a pinky, greeny kind of a look. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. If I can say it myself, right? But that's all for today, guys. If you are trying to pick up this palette, I would give it a 2 thumbs up. I think I've only not used like 4 shades. I've not used April Showers, which is a purple, which I would love, I know. Sapling, Bliss, and Primrose. Rest, everything I've used, and I've loved everything about it. Like, I don't think that there is any dud in this palette because everything wore very nicely. I wore it in the office, so I tested it more than 9 hours. There were days when I've gone to office, I've come back, gone for soccer game for my kid and come back and like taken off the makeup around like 10:30 at night, and it is going strong because I do my makeup at like 7:45ish in the morning. That's when my day starts, and it's amazing, like absolutely amazing. It's lasted without creasing on my oily eyelids. All that I do is like I just powder my eyelids before I apply the eyeshadow. There's no glitter glue required, no primer required, and it is vibrant and dimensional like you just applied. I love these palettes. So I would definitely give it a 2 thumbs up. If you are picking up anything from Ensley Reign's website, I have a code with them. It's SMITHYSONY to save you 10% off. But yes, that's all for today's video. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.